Hi. So I enjoy Star Wars. I love animated cartoons that are action adventure and science fiction and things like that. And today I'm going to be talking about the Clone Wars animated cartoon. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for 20 years. And I started watching the Clone Wars animated cartoons. I'm not a big fan of Phantom Menace. I'm not a big fan of the Clone Wars movie, and I'm not a big fan of Revenge of the Sith. But I am a big fan of the Genndy Clone Wars animated cartoons, the Genndy Tartakovsky cartoons. And then I heard that they were going to make an animated TV show. So I was like, that's cool. I hope it looks like the Genndy shorts, because that would be awesome. And if they just do it like this, it'll be like the best animated cartoon ever. Well, they didn't do it like this. They ended up going CG. And I was kind of disappointed, because I really, really enjoyed the Genndy animated Clone Wars cartoon. One of the King of the Hill alums, Dave Filoni, ended up getting hired for it, and it's really interesting because we knew him at Film Roman, because King of the Hill was produced at Film Roman, which is the studio that I work for on The Simpsons, and we were basically in the same building. And I kind of knew Dave because he was a real good friend of my father, who was a background designer on King of the Hill. And during the Halloween parties at work, he almost always did some kind of Star Wars thing or something really elaborate with Star Wars or something else. But he was known to be this incredible Star Wars nerd, and suddenly he is actually helping produce this show. So it's like, oh, that's really interesting. I'm sad to say that the pilot episode, which was released theatrically, I think, was pretty lousy. For this is the taste of what's coming up, and how and this TV show is going to be awesome because of this. And then you watch this movie and it's like, wah, wah, it's like it wasn't all that good. It was it's CG. It kind of looks a little bit like the Genndy designs, but the Genndy designs were much more pushed, and I like them more. The designs in the CG version were a little disappointing after watching the Genndy thing, and I keep comparing the two, and I really shouldn't, because they're two different styles and things like that. But I don't know why, but I just keep going back to the Genndy because I guess that's my first exposure to this style. But they did push the characters, and I think that's one of the best things about this show is how pushed and unrealistic looking they look. It's very caricatured, very cartoony, and that's one of the things that I liked. So I watched this movie and I wasn't impressed with the story, and I was like, well, okay. But let me give it a chance because I like Star Wars and I need my Star Wars fix, right? So I started watching the actual series. Okay, so there's 5 seasons. I've only watched 4 out of the 5 as of the time of this recording. Here's all of them here. So I have to admit, I got sold. I was sold by it. I watched this, and after I watched this season, I was like, that was really cool. Like they had some really, really good, interesting stories in here. So I got the second season. The second season was even better, and the third season was even better. And they keep building on these things, and they just keep doing all these things that I just find fascinating, and it's incredible. Now, not every show is a hit. It's really inconsistent as far as story arcs. They tend to have like 3 or 4 episode story arcs where it's just they're in a planet and something's happening, and so it's 30 minutes per episode, and by the time you watch 3 episodes, you kind of get like almost like a mini movie. And there's like an arc, and then they just change an environment, and then something else happens for a couple of episodes, and then that's the end of that. And I find that very cool. I like that style of storytelling. They explore the characters more. It's amazing what they can come up with as far as stories, because this is supposed to take place between Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, and they fill it up with all kinds of really fantastic stories. Almost always, anytime Jar Jar shows up in the cartoon, it's going to be a pretty lousy series of episodes. There's some drop dead, fantastic stories. There's one that even kind of plays with, if you're a fan of Dune, they totally play with the Betty Gesserit kind of thing, and in the Water of Life and all that stuff. And I think that's great. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're already watching this. I don't even have to sell the idea to go of watching these cartoons. But if you are iffy about wanting to watch it or not wanting to watch it or not knowing if these things are any good, yeah, if you like that guy, you gotta watch the cartoon. It's a lot of fun. It's a type of animated cartoon I wish they'd do more of. I like the dramatic action adventure type cartoons, and this is the stuff that I get to be drawn to more, especially because, you know, it's arguably science fiction. It's more like science fantasy. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. There's some stuff in it that's just like, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, that's cool. So let me know. Have you watched this whole series? I know that something awesome happens in season 5 with one of the characters, and I'm dying to go find out what happens. I'm rushing through to watch it all so I could watch the 5th season. Have you seen the show? Do you like it? Let me know. If you haven't seen it, would you be willing to, and why haven't you watched it? I'd like to know, actually, if you haven't seen the show and what's keeping you from watching it. That would be a really interesting conversation. This video is actually meant to be watched on my blog. There's a link to my blog below in the description if you're on YouTube. If you scroll down on my blog, you're going to see a lot of clips and videos, or at least a trailer for this series, so you could actually get a taste of what it looks like. I'm going to put some screenshots so that you could at least, you know, take a look and see what it's like. While you're at my blog, you can subscribe to my newsletter, where I have a PDF book that's in print on Amazon. If you want to get that book in print, it's called Angel Cowgirl: The Art of Luis Escobar. Or if you want, you can subscribe and you can get the free digital PDF version of that same book. Go right ahead. It's my free gift to you. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Bye.